Welcome to Vlogmas 2025 on Jamie Chaotic, where every day from December 1st to the 24th, I will be decorating and decluttering one area of my home, because 'tis the season to decorate, shop, host parties with friends and family, and be otherwise drowning in the stress, mess, and chaos of the holiday season. I hope the videos of me getting my shit together can provide you with some decluttering motivation and a few moments of relaxation during these trying times. Thanks for watching. Now on to today's mess. See what the next location is gonna be. Hey, good. I was hoping I would get this soon. It is the pantry that will round out the kitchen and finish it off. So of course the first step is to empty everything out, and I am using our dining table as the sorting area, so I'm just piling everything onto the table. After everything's out of the cabinets, I'm going to give all the shelves a wipe down. Many people suggested when I was doing the kitchen decluttering that it would probably serve us well for me to redo the liner that are in some of the cabinets and clean them all really good. The whole kitchen was disinfected and deep cleaned by a cleaning crew after the rat fiasco. Our landlord did spring for that, and so everything was sanitized, apparently, according to them anyway. And yes, I agree that the shelf liners do need to be redone. They need to be replaced. Some of them are probably from the 70s. However, once the holidays are over, we are going to ask our landlord or the building management company if they would paint all the insides of all the cabinets white, sort of the same as what they did underneath the sink, because that area is so much nicer now that it's painted. And the cabinets are literally 50 years old. These are from the 1970s when this place was originally built. And I know that the owners do love the wood cabinets. Their father built this building, built the whole street of buildings, and they're fond of the original wood cabinets. But painting the insides would make them so much nicer. So we're going to ask if they would be willing to do that. And if they're not willing to pay for painters to come do that, I'm still going to ask them if they would allow me to do it. I can't just do it, though. I'd love to just get in there and frickin' paint it. But then they could say, if we move out or whatever, they could say that we cause permanent damage and that they have to put in a whole new wood kitchen and make us pay for it. So obviously I'm going to get permission in order to do that. And then I would put the shelf liners down on top of the painted part. If they say no, you can't do that, which would really suck if they said no. But if they said no, flat out, we're not going to get painters and you can't do it, then I'll just redo the shelf liners. Sure. So here's all of our food. I think it's a pretty modest amount for a family of 4 who really like to eat. Although I did put all of our bulky Costco size boxes of things into the white cabinet, which you saw in a previous episode. So we're not storing any of the big bulky things in this cabinet anyway, and it's a small pantry. I'm just thankful to have a pantry. Our last apartment didn't have one at all. In fact, this is the first time outside of my parents' home that I've even had a pantry at all. So I think I've learned to live with storing less stuff and only buying like cans of things if it's for a meal we're going to be making that day or at least in the next couple days. I don't just have big huge backstocks of stuff. There's some things like the ketchup and peanut butter and stuff that we might have multiples of because we buy it at Costco, but for the most part I don't have like a prepper's amount of food in the house at any given moment. I started putting everything back into the pantry the way I originally had it. So the bottom shelf is cereal and snacks and baking supplies like flour, brown sugar, which I almost never use, so that's like way in the back. I was just showing there that I put that English toffee into one of the reusable containers. I bought these reusable containers, these like airtight containers, after the whole rat thing, and I really love them. I love keeping snacks in there and getting them out of the bulky packages, so A+ for that. The second row is pancake mix and snacks. This bin that I'm sorting out right now is supposed to be snack stuff, like things that the kids eat and can just grab themselves out of the pantry whenever. But lately, some people who shall not be named have started putting bread in here too. And so I'm taking the bread out. The bread that was in there like was forgotten about and either hard as rocks or growing science experiments on it. So I'm sorting through the snack box. I'm gonna clean it all out real good. I'm taking everything out. Anything that is gross and old and expired and bad or hard, like hard bread or anything like that, I'm just gonna leave all of that on the table and eventually throw it away. But for now, I'm just taking everything out. I'm gonna clean the bin and then I will only put back the stuff that's still good. Also on the second shelf was the pancake mix. We ended up having 3 different containers of that. One of them was really old and expired. It's probably still fine. I know expiration dates or best by dates are kind of a fluid thing to a lot of people. For me, at this point, if I'm doing a big pantry clean out, I'm just tossing anything that's expired. I'm not going to try to second guess it or get every last penny out of it, especially if it's like an old box of Bisquick. You know, I'm just going to toss it. And we already had this other big bag of a different kind of pancake mix anyway, so it's fine. Now we are moving on to the next shelf up, which was my oatmeal and oatmeal toppings, peanut butter, bread, pasta, pastaroni, that kind of thing. So like grains, I guess. I guess that's the category. So I'm going to just load everything back in kind of the way that I had it. I did check everything first to see if there was anything to get rid of. Again, anything that we don't want, I'm just leaving on the dining room table. I will say of all the areas, this shelf was not functioning very well. The bread box that we have in there was too small. We always had way too much bread. The pasta doesn't fit in the container vertically in this section. That just wasn't really working right, but in the moment I just put everything back the way that it was. But you will see I have a stroke of brilliance at the end and change things around again. But now I'm working on the top row. I put that Lazy Susan, that like 2-tier Lazy Susan thing in there. That's what I have been keeping my cans and stuff on. I don't have a ton of cans in this very moment. So I ended up putting like pasta sauce and just basically anything that could fit on it, any sort of jarred or canned item. Tuna I put on there. It just gives it some height. I can see it from the front and I can spin it around. It's to me the best way to store stuff in these deep, obnoxious pantries. I'm also putting like hot sauce and salad toppings and just really the random little stuff that the kids are never going to need to get on their own, and the stuff that Blake and I kind of grab often, like hot sauce, you know, honey I put in there, that kind of stuff. Just like random condiments and sauces and canned goods, I guess, is what goes on this top shelf. Also, a lot of people in the past have suggested I get those pull-out drawers for the pantry. Like, you know, you screw them into the pantry kind of thing. Those drawers to pull out the space, you know, and I love those. I wish I could do that, but you will notice in this video, even in a minute, if I open up that pantry door too wide, it turns the light off in the kitchen. One of the most aggravating things about the kitchen. I do intend to get a doorstop eventually so that the pantry door can just be flung open like what normal people do and it won't turn the light off. But either way, before I get the doorstop or after, I can't open the door entirely all the way. So it's hard to tell from this angle, but a drawer wouldn't be able to be pulled out of this pantry unless it was like super, super small. So it kind of would defeat the purpose anyway, because you go to pull the drawer out and it's just going to crash right into the pantry door and it's not going to be able to pull out all the way. So unfortunately, that just really won't work because of the way the stupid kitchen was laid out originally in the first place. Great idea for anyone who that would actually work for, though. I'm a big fan of drawers in kitchens. If I were to just design a dream kitchen from scratch, I'd probably put like entirely drawers in the whole lower cabinets and on every lower cabinet of a kitchen. I really despise these deep caverns that pots and pans and food and stuff gets lost in. I would do pull-out drawers for everything if I could. There's the final look at the organized top shelf. Nice and roomy and neat and tidy. Here is all of the food bread that we are getting rid of, stale bread, expired products, half-eaten chips and things that have gone stale because nobody puts the little tie closer thing on it and everybody forgets about it. This is all stuff that I am relocating to different places. Some stuff's going in the spice cabinet, some stuff's going on the coffee bar or the hot cocoa bar. The tortillas need to go into the fridge. The candy I'm putting in the white cabinets because it kind of keeps it out of sight, out of mind. And yeah, so that's all the stuff that's no longer going to be living in the pantry, which is a significant amount of stuff. Now, at this point, everything looked like it was done, right? And then Blake came home with some groceries. And see that loaf of white bread that's sitting on the counter next to where I was just putting those canisters? Our bread basket was already completely full. And I'm like, God, do I really need to just jam this bread into there? And then I realized a lot of the snacks that I'm keeping in this big giant snack bin could be put into the white pantry. Like I had 2 boxes of graham crackers that were unopened. So that's technically like back stock of stuff, right? Then I'm also thinking, why don't I put the snacks with the other snacks? Like put like things together, because we have all of these snacks in these reusable snack bins, but then I was also keeping snacks in the big giant turquoise basket because that's the way I had it before I bought those bins. And I ended up just keeping more snacks into the bin. There's just too many damn snacks is what I'm trying to say here. So I'm consolidating the snack section. I'm taking everything out of the big turquoise basket and I'm putting the bread in there because apparently we have enough bread to feed 3 armies of people and everybody likes a different kind of bread. And then there's like specialty seasonal bread and French rolls and English muffins. There's just a lot of different kinds of bread. We're bread people, apparently. I mean, just look at us. It's kind of apparent that we're bread people. So rice and bread I'm putting in the largest turquoise basket. There's lots of room. Hopefully we will notice when things are going bad in there quicker because it won't be as jammed. Things will be like looser in there, so maybe we'll notice it. I mean, we also have hot dog buns, hamburger buns. We had so many different kinds of bread. So next to the bread, I'm putting the pasta. So I put the pastaroni and then that too tall pasta container next to the bread basket. So now we have all of our grains in that lower section. And I put the pancake mix down at the very bottom with the cereal. It's something we don't take out all the time, so it's fine to be down low. What this did now is move all the snack containers and the bags of snack things like the beef sticks and the graham crackers and whatever, it moved them to this third shelf, which now is actually eye level for my kids. So I'm hoping the snacks don't get so lost down in the bottom because I do love these containers, these airtight containers for the snacks, but it's kind of hard to see everything we have because it's also being stored deep down low in the bottom. So it's kind of hard to get to. Now the snacks are at eye level for the kids. The boxes of snacks that haven't been loaded into the airtight containers are in the white cabinet, so that takes some of the extra bulkiness out of the cupboard. The only thing is there was one snack container that had pretzels in that was too tall, so I moved that down next to the pasta. So we've got one container that is out of place. To be honest, I think I'm going to buy a few more of the littler sized airtight containers so that I have a container for every type of snack, because when I show you the close-up here, you will see there's some stuff just sort of floating around a little bit, which I don't love. And then I will actually put pasta in that taller container, so I'll have 2 boxes of pasta, and pretzels and everything else will be in the snack section. This is working so much better. I don't know why I never thought of this before. I think I was still thinking that anything the kids needed to access themselves needed to be at the very bottom, but really it makes a lot more sense to put it at their eye level. And the snacks and the bread were the 2 things that were going bad and the most of what I threw away out of the trash pile. So having the bread and the snacks the most easily accessible right in those 2 middle sections, I think is going to be the solution. Here is the after shot, and you can see how everything is actually fitting really well. It was just the chips that I added back to that top shelf, but I think if I really wanted to, I could put chips in with the bread. I don't think I need to do that yet. I think they're fine on the top shelf. And we don't always have chips all the time anyway. We've been using this for a few days now and we absolutely love it. So that is a wrap on the pantry and the kitchen. All that's left is to throw away all of the old food and put away the stuff that needs to be relocated and other snack areas of the house. I did end up having 2 extra bins that I could use for other things. One of them I used for candy and put in the white cabinet over there. And the other one, well, maybe I'm just gonna have some other use for it later on. So that's it for the pantry. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you tomorrow. Bye everyone.